Welcome back to In Ohio Country Today, and joining me now is Devin Dye, the land guy from Dye Real Estate and Land Company. Devin, it's springtime. I know a lot of people are talking about their input costs and getting ready for spring planting, but more importantly, it's a good time for real estate.
Yeah, from a farmland perspective, this is kind of the hot time of the year. Everybody's trying to get those transactions done before planting season. It's really the best time of the year because when you buy one, you can get on it right away and farm it this season. So late winter, early spring before planting season is the time that we usually see transactions starting to amp up because people are in a hurry to get things done.
You know, one of the things that I've always been impressed with as far as your knowledge of farm is the fact that there are a lot of things that are happening for our farmers to participate in, like H2 Ohio. We just recently did a couple stories on that, and different types of things that make their property more valuable, maybe getting into conservation, maybe doing a few more things on their property that they didn't do in the past. And those are the kind of things that you can kind of consult with them on, right?
Yeah, I mean, exploring their highest and best use, right?
Exactly.
Whether it's maybe potentially developing the property or right now the CRP contracts are up for renew, and it's time. This time of year is the time that all those things get looked at, and we're going through that right now. So it's important that you as a landowner kind of know all of your options, and especially when it's time to sell, you need to be able to maximize every potential benefit that your property has.
You talk about maximizing the benefit and looking for all the options you might have as far as your farmland is concerned. Another thing you can help them with is marketing their property, not only through vehicles like In Ohio Country Today, but you have a great e-newsletter too that you send out.
Yeah, so it's kind of something that I created 5 or 6 years ago. It summarizes all the land transactions, not just mine, auctions, any land transaction that I know of. It summarizes that. It puts it out quarterly so that the landowner themselves can get their hands on properties that are selling in their neighborhoods, in their, the areas that they farm. And it's like this. You have a couple $100,000 in a 401k. You sit there every day clicking refresh on your computer to see how much money you're making. But your $1 million farm, you really don't know what it's worth because you haven't looked at, its value in 10 years. It's kind of crazy, but this helps you keep in touch with that.
And we really want to emphasize your experience when it comes to the different types of farms that you work with. Let's talk about that. Not only the grain farmer that's out there, but also people who have livestock.
Yeah, so I've handled a number of transactions in the last 9 years. I mean, whether it's timber property, hunting land, property that has livestock on it, horse properties. I had a reindeer farm for sale once, just a number of things. But we cover a wide range of properties that we handle, being residential, agricultural. Bare land is kind of our niche. So yeah, if you have anything like that you think might be a special or out of our reach, just try us on it. I think we've seen it. So
we talked a little bit on our podcast about some of the things that you can do for families that are in transition. Maybe they don't want to be on the farm anymore. They have to look at their options, and maybe an auction might be something for them to consider, and you can help them with that.
Yeah, so we have a great auctioneer, Mike Reindl. A lot of people in the farming community know him. Yeah. His Chan is able to buy. He's got an auction center in Delphos, Ohio. And so you come to us, and you necessarily, you don't think that selling it private treaty, which is listing it and selling it, is necessarily the way your family wants to go. Auction might be the route that you need, and we handle that. And Mike's really good. He's one of the best criers, I think, in our state. So
yeah, there's no doubt about that. Let's talk a little bit about your website too. It's a great website. It's another tool that you use to help sell those properties. Let's talk about your website.
Yeah, so there's a couple things I want to touch on here. Our website is dyerealestate.com. You can go on there and just find all of our listings. You can search, get to know us, get to know the agents. It's kind of a cool place to check. But also, if you're interested in receiving all of the listings the second they hit our office, you can reach out to me. It's devindye@gmail.com, and I'll put you on our e-blast. So right now there's nearly 800 people on that e-blast, and what it is it's just a place that anytime new farm listings come in, they hit that, and we send them out to everyone at the same exact time. So everybody gets a shot at the farm if they want it at the same time, but it keeps you informed. If you're not a buyer, it's still a good place to be, if you are a potential seller, just to see what's going on out there.
And the one key thing, too, is that not only being able to market the property, but we talked about it earlier, is the communication that you like to stress, not only internally among your agents, but also between the buyers and the sellers and yourself. That's an important message for our viewers to get, is the fact that communication is really important to you.
Yeah, I mean, one of our core values is over communication. I mean, it's just who we are, and everyone that knows me knows I talk too much. So that's not a hard thing for me. But, I think it's important that if you've hired someone to handle your real estate transaction and you're not hearing from them, there's a problem. Right. You need to be hearing from them on a regular basis. And it's our job to stay in front of you, help you understand what's going on in the market, and communicate those things to you, because that's how you make decisions.
And that's why we call him Devin Dye, the land guy from Dye Real Estate and Land Company. Once again, Devin, what's that website?
It's dyerealestate.com.
Devin Dye has been our guest. Devin, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, Dan.